to the broadcast. Cometh the hour, and the guests are all seated ready for this important conversation. I hope you could be part of us. As always, the hashtag is the Daily Report, as well as the People's Court. Hashtag People's Court at Linda_Lela TV47KE. I'll be sampling some of your questions as we proceed with the broadcast. Tell us your situation, where it is that you are at, and what the people are feeling generally as to these concerns that are being raised that in no time we're going to have shortage of ARVs. There are some people who say they have already begun experiencing this, but the government then maintains that we are not badly off as a country. This occasioned by that halting of funding that is by the U.S. government, and of course to USAID as well as PEFRA. And a majority of people then would ask, what does Africa need to do to ensure that they position themselves such that when such orders then come on board, they are able to manage, as opposed to always depending on funding. And so on this very set, we are delighted to have Dr. Shamsa Ahmed on my farthest left. Dr. Shamsa is the head of infectious disease in Pisha Hospital. Thank you so much for creating time to be here with us this evening. And then we also have Angella Langat, MBS, the Director, National Syndemic Disease Control Council. Thank you so much for creating time. We equally have Kaikai Naipamei, CEO Youth Champions for SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Asante Sana as well for creating time. And last but not least, on this side, we have Dr. Samuel Kinyanjui, the Country Director of, that is, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, AHF. Asante Sana for creating time once again. And on this other side of the audience, I'll be giving them the microphone as they get to introduce themselves. But lazima tusalimie the King. The King is in the house as well. He'll be introducing himself. Thank you so much, King, for creating time. I think this is a moment that then the world, the country is eagerly waiting to hear from you and what we suppose would be the direction, even as we continue to get worried as to the concerns that have been raised by the World Health Organization. And since we have specialists on board, I think I will go straight to it and, of course, just get to ask some of these pertinent questions as to where we are at as a country. I think then this goes straight to you, Angela.
Yes. Thank you, Linda, for this opportunity to be in this People's Court. This is my first time.
Yes, yes. Basically, the first time.
Yes, it's my first
here. No, yes. Only one gentleman. You've been here before, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let me do a status analysis of where we are at as a country.
And I hope you can project so that at least this other side.
Oh, so I hope you can hear me. I speak very softly.
Oh.
So President Donald Trump signs an executive order on the 20th of January, 14169. And then subsequent to that, that executive order has a 90 period, which ends on the 19th of April. And he wants to reevaluate his foreign aid. Once he signs that executive order, there are 7 other pronouncements that happen where there's a stop work order. So people are either released from work, there's disruption of services. So that is what happens. And of course, that affects the whole world, including Kenya. So as a country, last week, we were a bit worried of one of the drugs for our children, nevirapine. And it's because the drug was available in the country, but we were unable to access it because the coordination of our supply chain is done through 3 mechanisms. The Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, which is KEMSA, Mission for Essential Drugs and Supplies, that's MEDS, and then the Ministry of Health. So the drugs were at MEDS, but we were unable to access them because of that temporary disruption in terms of supply chain. So MEDS could not distribute the drugs and the government could not access the drugs. But as of last week on Friday, remember, the Cabinet Secretary for Health flagged off some medicines. And last week, MEDS received communication from DC to allow them to be able to draw down money and do the distribution for the drugs. So as we speak right now, the drugs are being distributed. So if I can give you some statistics.
Right.
For TLD, the quantities available are over 2 million packs, and the stock level is 4.7 months of stock.
Okay.
As of now. Months.
Okay.
The next assignment, the consignment is over 4.8 million packs.
Okay.
And by the end of June, we'll have a stock of 11 months.
Okay.
So from where we sit, it is true. We have secured stock levels for the whole country from several months now up to close to 2 years.
Right.
So there should not be any panic in the country as we speak.
Okay.
Last week we were a bit worried because, of course, the disruption of PEPFAR-supported programs was to the tune of 8 billion Kenya shillings for HIV commodities.
Okay.
But then now that has started to unlock itself. Yes.
Okay, and so we're just looking at this year.
Yes.
If the executive order were to stand, then what?
We have stock for 11 months.
11 months.
Yes.
11 months is as good as, you'd say, a year, and now crossing over.
So we have 3 funding mechanisms. There's Ministry of Health.
Okay.
That's government. And then we have Global Fund, and then we have U.S. government.
Okay.
So the U.S. government is 8.9.
Right.
Then we have Global Fund and the ministry.
Standing at what percentages?
So the Global
US is
Fund,
8.9?
Yes, Global Fund and USG, we've had a very heavily land response on that too,
Okay.
of 80%, and then the government 20%. But notwithstanding, in terms of stock levels, we are fine.
Okay.
So there should be not any
No cause
panic
for
at
alarm.
that.
So
No.
if any delays in different parts of the country, this was just occasioned
This was occasioned by the fact that there was a temporary stop.
Okay.
But now, because of what happened last week, Meds now is able to do the distribution.
Okay.
The government is also trying to ensure we expedite some of the procurement.